He restores my soul. He guides me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. You know, I kind of wish David started this out with he restores my body. That would be really great. Body shame has been an issue for me for almost as long as I can remember. And on any given day, I can probably give you like a few different bullet points of like weird sensations or pains or cramps that don't really make sense. And it's easy for me in my brain to like to spiral out and to start getting freaked out about what if I'm really sick? What if this bad things happen? Like I get really nervous about that. There's like, weird pain, twinges, things in my body that happens. But like David says here, God restores my soul. Now I kind of wonder why that distinction. You know, and if you, this is kind of like a whole other long rabbit trail that I don't really want to get into today. But really, as humans, there's like there are kind of like three functions as humans. There's body, our soul, and our spirit, and there's oftentimes some confusion between soul and spirit a little bit. There's a couple places in Scripture that kind of talk about that distinction. I think First Thessalonians 5 is one. Hebrews 4 is another place if you want to dig into that. But essentially, as believers, we have a spirit, and that spirit allows us to connect to God. And when we put our faith in Jesus, that spirit becomes sealed with Christ. And the enemy can't get at your spirit. Your spirit, you're always right, always holy, always loved, always accepted. The problem is that we live in a fallen world. And it's a world that's under a curse, and it's the curse of sin. And as a result, you and I, as we go through the world, we experience things that we weren't really meant to experience. If you think about creation, like God designed Adam and Eve, the first man and the first woman, he designed them to live in Eden. Like he designed them for paradise. And then the world broke around them, and suddenly all these things are coming at us, And so where I have a spirit that connects with God, my soul, and like in the Greek, the word that's translated as soul is suke, which is where the word psychology comes from. And soul kind of refers to your personality. It's like that kind of the blend, your mind and your will and your emotions. And that's what David is kind of zooming in on here, is like, God restores my soul. As all these things are coming at me, as death is coming at me from a multitude of different directions, is coming at me from the outside. God within me, from within my spirit, life is feeding me life, and that's coming out to meet and to overwhelm the death that's coming at me. And that happens in the space of my soul. And there's turmoil that comes. We live in a fallen world. I'm trying to think what David going through is like. He's like, my own son is coming after me. Death is coming at me. It's attacking me from the outside, but through my spirit, life comes, and it's restoring my soul. As I'm mired down, my mind, it wanders away. It wanders away from the shepherd, goes down paths it shouldn't go. Focusing on like bank accounts that aren't quite big enough for me, bills that might be overdue, like sagging business maybe. I mean, you fill in the blanks. Like all this stuff going on, whether it's in culture or what's in my personal life, what's in the world at large, like all this stuff coming at me. And what happens is my emotions get triggered, and there's fear, hurt, envy, sorrow, shame. All that stuff begins to spike within my emotions. And what ends up happening is in the place where when I'm like being pounded by these difficult emotions, my will, my decider, what I use to make choices, like that all gets influenced. I began to make decisions out of that. That's kind of like when they say soul, it's like it's all that stuff in there. It's like your mind, your will, your emotions. Like if you're believing lies in your mind, that leads to difficult, heavy, painful emotions. And when you've got those, it's very hard to make good decisions. And that's what God restores my soul. He restores my soul. He comes in and he brings peace. He brings life as we look to him. I keep my eyes on the shepherd.